In using the words of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, to form a prophetic timeline for the church, one mixes dispensations. In doing so, a convoluted theology will always result. We are to stick to the epistles of Paul for proper Gentile-led church age doctrine. It is only after the removal of the restrainer that the lawless one will be revealed. It is this Satan-filled person whom the Lord, as Paul says, will consume with the breath of his mouth. This is alluded to by John in the book of Revelation. It says in Revelation 19:15, now out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should strike the nations. Okay? Isaiah 11 verse 4, which Paul is actually loosely citing as another reference to this. But with righteousness he shall judge the poor, and decide with equity for the meek of the earth. He shall strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he shall slay the wicked. The symbolism of the sword and the rod reveals a destroying weapon which will come against the forces of Antichrist and destroy them all. They will be destroyed so easily that it will be as if he simply breathes out and they are vanquished. The details are explained in Revelation 19 verse 19 and Revelation 19 verse 21. It is also further defined by Paul with the words, and destroy with the brightness of his coming. The supposed power and majesty of the Antichrist will pale in comparison to the glory of Christ Jesus. After defeating the armies gathered together to make war against him, it then says in Revelation 19 verse 20, then the beast was captured, and with him the false prophet who worked signs in his presence, by which he deceived those who received the mark of the beast, and with those who worshipped his image. These two were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. Bad times lay ahead for this sick dude. Instead of ruling the world, he should have been reading his Bible. Jesus said as much to us in Matthew 16, verse 26. There he asked an obvious question. For what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? The answer is none. Zippo. This vile person will have gained the whole world, and yet his soul will be eternally condemned. Not a very bright choice in the end. Okay, then we go on to verses, we're in 2 Thessalonians 2, 9 through 12. He's going to give details about the time after the rapture and what it will be like for those who are left behind. In verse 3, 6 through 12, it sums up Paul's thoughts concerning the rapture date setters, who spend their time in that insanity instead of remaining productive people of God. Verse 10 is how they should be treated. It says in verse 10 of 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, for when we were with you, we commanded you this, if anyone will not work, he shall not eat. The context of what he is writing about is not about people sitting on the stoop out in the projects and not doing any work, although it does apply as well. The context is speaking of people that are rapture date setters, people that are so heavenly minded that they're no earthly good, people that watch video after video after video about the rapture instead of getting to work and earning their pay. That's what he's talking about there. If you don't work, you don't eat. Don't send those people your money. Don't do it because they're out there making predictions that are false in the first place. You're going to go to hell if you believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. He's condemning people to hell for no reason at all. Don't listen to people like that. All right? Revelation 1 verse 3. This is more rapture stuff I want to give you, and we'll be done in 2 more minutes. Revelation 1 verse 3 are addressed to the church. The entire thing is church. To the church at Laodicea, to the church at Sardis, to the church at Philadelphia. He's writing to the church. Everybody got that? Revelation 4 verse 1 is the rapture. We'll read that real quickly. Revelation 4 verse 1. All right? He's spoken to the church for 3 chapters. And then he says in verse 4:1, after these things I looked, and behold, a door. Who is the door in the Bible? Jesus. A door standing open in heaven. And the first voice which I heard like a trumpet speaking with me, saying, come up here. The voice of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, the trumpet sound, is Christ saying, come up here. It's time to go to be with me. And then from Revelation 4 verse 2 until Revelation 19 verse 10, which is the 7 years of tribulation on the earth, how many times are the church mentioned in those verses? 0. I got a perfect zip over there. 0.